try the reserve handle and get it dizzy. You can see you've got roughly that much more height. This little bit of blue. I would use the foam protectors. And Niviuk have had the brilliant idea of making it the first. Hang on a minute, coming round. Yeah, oh, yes, sir. Yeah, oh, just a moment. I'll be right with you. Oh. Oh, hello, this is Carlo from Flybubble. I'm going to be talking to you about the Niviuk Sherlock Tandem pilot harness and the Watson passenger harness. One of our long-time customers, a great guy, you know who you are. He's ordered this tandem kit, so I thought I'd share with you as I look over it. Let's go over. So, first of all, what you have in here. So these are optional foam protectors. So with a Sherlock, which is a split leg style harness, as most tandem pilot harnesses tend to be nowadays, because the split leg harness pulls your legs apart, and since you've got the passenger in front of you, then that works pretty well. And if you could given the idea to have, for the protection, the option of having an airbag, which is just integrated into the system, and we can also add these foam protectors if we want, so we'll have a look at those later. Let's start off with build quality and materials. So let's have a look. Now, recent Niviuk harnesses have really taken a jump up in build quality, so I'm expecting great things. But let's have a look. So they managed the same with the pilot and passenger harness. So when we look at this, just looking at the materials, the quality of them, and then the stitching all over, and how it's all put together. Also then the actual, how it's the shaping and how it is on the back here. So let's have a look. So starting off around the side here. Well, this looks like very similar materials to things from other recent Niviuk harnesses, like the Arrow, and things like that. And well, as I'm sure you can see there, the build quality looks absolutely fantastic. Top notch. Yeah, really fantastic build quality. Also, you can just see how everything like the reserve here, which we'll look at in more detail, is really neatly integrated. And actually something that a few different pilot harnesses have now is that they really integrated the whole reserve system to make it really tidy. If you've flown tandems or you've seen tandem setups in the past, and some still are like that, they don't have a fully integrated system, and you end up with lots of the reserve bridle straps from the point after they go up the channel to the shoulders. They're often exposed, and you end up putting Velcro loops and maybe stuff like that on there to try and hold it and make it less messy, basically. And now what they've done is integrated this right into here, which is very neat indeed. Also, you can't tell there is just the weight of it, and it feels really robust and very well made, but at the same time the weight is really not heavy. There are some lighter ones, but it's certainly not heavy and bulky. I think there are heavier and bulkier ones. And so look around here, there's the airbag and the bottom, and this is the kind of bit where you can end up on your bottom if your passenger pulls you down, and that feels very durable. So, well, yeah, so in summary, build quality feels absolutely fantastic, top notch. I think that's, yeah, absolutely second to none. So let's just have a look here. We haven't got a reserve in yet, so we'll look at this in more detail. You can get an idea already of the kind of size, especially those of you familiar with tandem kit, you get an idea. I'm not going to over squish it down like you will do in the bag, but just to give you a proper idea of the size. Let's talk about this way. You can see here it does actually pack down pretty compact. Obviously you'll have a tandem reserve in here. For example, in here we have a Charlie target cross and the steerable square. Well, I call it a semi-steerable, driftable square, but it is steerable. You have got some directional control. This is the 160 size because this customer is actually going to be flying with lighter passengers. You want with a handle, you want it to be a nice balance of easy enough to grab when you want it, but not something that's going to catch and get pulled off. You've also got a thing that some tandem pilots may have experienced where your passenger reaches back and grabs on that nice useful handle and pulls it. So you don't want it too easy to grab. Let's have a feel. So it's that feels like a good nice handle to grab. What you want with the reserve handle is for it to be easy enough to grab and to pull, and really easy to deploy, but not too easy to catch, or for the passenger to grab on and pull. So actually I think that feels pretty optimal. Feels very good. So here, let's try the reserve handle. Oh, that came out very nice and easy. We can see here, when you pull the handle and deploy the reserve, it's going to open really nice and wide. This is a 160 reserve. It's not the biggest, so that goes in there very easily, and you can fit the bigger size of the reserve in there, no problem. So this is the harness comes with the bridle. These are Dyneema bridles integrated. And you can see when you deploy, the reserve bridles come around like so, and then the zips unzip. So I've put the reserve system all back together, and actually I have to say it was easier than I thought it was going to be, because it was so neat and tidy. I thought it might be a bit of a nightmare to put together, but it wasn't. So you just thread the bridle in, feed the zip all the way back up to here, and the shoulder zips end at the top. Then there's the channel here, and you run a zip across here down to the bottom. I have to mention the zip down there is it's precision engineered. So with things that are precision engineered, they tend to be a bit more fiddly to do, and it was. But yeah, but still good. You just had to really line it up properly. The zip runs up, and smartly the zip at the top comes off the runner, so there's no chance of the zip, the channel being pulled all the way up and breaking the zip. It's actually come off the end of there, so that's completely open. Good design. And at this side, as I kind of suspected, this very neatly precision engineered bit here is a little fiddly to do. A nice little design touch that Niviuk are doing with their harnesses, I've noticed now, is they put this little bit of blue line there, put back, and that's so that you don't need, usually to pull the reserve bit of cord like through there, the cord loop, you'd use something like a nylon bit of nylon rod like that. Same sort of thing you have in the leading edge of paragliders nowadays. Here you just have that bit and you pull it through like so. The handle goes inside here. This is a little over precision engineered for my liking, just because it's a little fiddly, but it's so neat and tidy. You actually have to get the plastic rod through that little hole there, which is a little fiddly, I found, and then through that into there, but all really neatly done. And again, getting that through the loop there was quite tight. I had to really pull and work the thing around to get it inside. So I'm going to give that as a little bit of criticism there, that just from a point of view of putting it together, could be a little bit easier. On the other hand, it's very neat and tidy and precision engineered. So I guess they've favoured that side to be super clean and tidy. On the storage side, you have a special feature here. This is the airbag, and they've given you a zip there so that you can hold up and put something in there. They suggest the Coley bag to go in there, so let's try it. I haven't done this yet, so make the tight fit. So a little bit of a tight fit getting it in there. Then that does go inside, and effectively, obviously, it's now sort of blocking the airbag, but instead of having an airbag, it's the bag itself, the Coley bag, is acting as a protector for your bottom. You want to be careful here. They do mention about you can put other stuff in there, but they do say that you put kind of the wrong things in there and overstuff it, you can damage it. What I'm going to do is put the Coley bag in the back and see how that fits in there. Get an idea of that. Gives you an idea. Yeah, again, I haven't packed that optimally. So you can see there, that's Coley bag has gone in there, and we've still got some more storage space there. Oh, I didn't think I mentioned this earlier. There's a zipped pocket in there where you can put your wallet and other stuff like that, little bits. Another nice detail on the Sherlock here. Notice they have these green handles on both sides. I wondered at first if they might be to help for launch assistance, where they can hold on to the handles if it's windy and to hold the pilot there, but those are usually on the passenger harness. And yeah, but what these are for is sometimes when you launch, the passenger can get in your way, and so it can be difficult to get back in the harness. So these handles are mainly for the pilot can, if necessary, grab onto those and help push themselves back into the harness if needs be. You have a look here, you can see about the split leg design. You can see they've got long leg supports. This type of harness tend to scoop you back, so getting back in the harness is generally easy. It's just because you've got the passenger in front of you, especially if they're bigger, they might stop you and get in the way, and that's why those side handles there will help. And the comfort in this harness is very high, as you'll see. It's really comfortable. You can see how, well, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, how beautifully made that is. Very supported, and it's feels very similar to like the arrow, the back of the arrow harness and the bottom there, the design of that. Very nicely shaped, and it's got quite firm, but it has got a bit of padding element to it and very nicely shaped. You haven't got lumps or ridges in the back, so that's got very high comfort on the back. And similar, you see all the bottom there is all really nicely shaped up. They're very supportive and comfortable around your back. At the bottom here, design got a removable, replaceable bottom section, which protects with the airbag, which has got a nitinol wire in around all the way around to help pre-inflate. This is an airbag rather than an inflatable protector, so you don't need to blow it up. It does rely on airflow. You can see this, the bottom protector, the Velcro, goes all the way around here, all the way under the straps, wraps around these loops here, all the way back round, so it's completely removable and replaceable. Well, I think it's a really interesting option that I offered the airbag and the foam protector. I personally prefer foam protectors, but I call it always there protection. I don't have to inflate them, and it doesn't rely on airflow. But the thing is with these things, it's not just sort of one right or wrong, it's down to you, what your preferences are. So let's see, so I'm just getting my first go. See how it goes in there. Good. So what I do is you put the foam protector inside where the airbag space is. So if we want that, I think this is a really great idea actually, because it's a real, I'm not sure what the ratio is, but some pilots prefer foam, some prefer airbag. Generally the pilots who prefer airbag is because it folds down more compact and is a bit less weight. Well, those foam protectors, by the way, are very light. I don't know what they weigh, but it's a couple 100 grams by the feels of it. It's cleverly designed because it works well for both. So it works really well as an airbag, and it works really well as a foam protector. So that's pretty smart. They've covered all their bases. A lot of tandem pilots favour fast pack, and here they have the Collie Pro, which is basically their bigger fast pack. They have the Collie and the Collie Pro. The Collie Pro is just bigger, and it has got a little bit more features on it. I think you could fit a whole tandem kit in this, no problem. And it's actually it's actually a fast packing backpack with nice shoulder straps, so it's actually a pretty good bag. Not quite as compact to carry as just a specially designed backpack, but actually pretty damn good. So it's a nice comfort. If you're looking for a fast packing bag that you're actually going to carry some distance, or you've got a bit heavier kit like this, then it's worth getting that. Passenger harness, the Watson, and you can see they've actually they supply it in this lovely little bag with a little backpack there, so you can give that to your passenger. So they've got something to carry, but not too heavy. And I think it's a really nice touch, means the pilot's not carrying quite as much heavy stuff, and your passenger's carrying their pilot harness. That feels like they're owning it, and they're getting a bit more of experience. I've seen some tandem pilots giving their passengers the whole kit, all the heavier stuff, which is a bit cheeky, I think. And they've actually supplied the Watson in its own little carry bag, which is great. So you can give that to the passenger for them to carry. So what do we have in here? There, phone protector. Yep, reversible. Again, the build quality is just as good. You can see then the harness has got the same idea as the Sherlock, where you've got an airbag, and there's a Velcro on section which covers the whole thing to cover the passenger's bottom. Probably particularly important for the passengers. There's some of them do have a tendency to just sit down randomly on takeoff. And again, same idea is you can there's a foam protector as well. Push that up. Might not be doing this the best ways. Seem to make sense. Just like the Sherlock. Oh, go on the last one. Make sure you push that zip. Always push zips right into their little pockets there. But yeah, just like the Sherlock, that's really quick and easy to do, isn't it? So you can add a phone protector. I personally would put that in there, because now I've got the best protection I think I can give my passenger. And this has also got a get-up system for clipping in. You can see it's not split leg. They've gone for a seat there, and I think for the passenger that's a good idea. I think the seat's more comfortable and more normal for them, and they don't end up with their legs splayed out. So having the seat is good. So for me, the whole idea of tandem paragliding might sound obvious, but it's all about giving the passenger the best experience possible, and a big part of that is their comfort. So if you've got some cheap rubbish passenger harness and they're not comfortable and they're hanging out the harness or something like that, and I still see this too often, and they're just really spoils the experience. They might be having a horrible time, even if they tell you at the end they had a great time, but you really want them as comfortable as possible. And as well as just comfort, being comfortable makes them less scared. So it's really important to have very high comfort. So looking at this, looking at the back here, well, this again, it's just the way Niviuk harnesses are at the moment. They've got a really nice shaping with a nice stiffness for nice support without ridges and sort of lumps and bumps, and very good support under their bottom. And this certainly gives that. And it's got a nice bit of padding. It's quite firm, but it's got a bit of padding there, and then some bit of side end things to hold them in place so they feel nice and snugly held in. They don't want to feel like they're about to fall out of the harness. That's just not what they want at all. Okay, so I'm going to clip into the Sherlock. You can see I haven't got spreaders, but if you have a look here, you can see I've simulated as like it would be with the spreaders. I've put the reserve bridle channels, which just have looped nicely on here. You can see how super tidy that is, and you can imagine that with the spreaders. Very, very tidy. Okay, going to clip in. Now this system's not made for clipping in while it's already hanging up, but let's give that a go. So with the buckles, you need to see the coloured bit on the front, and make sure you haven't got a twist and strap. Like so. Really nice clipping in system. On the other side, now I'm going to have to do a balancing act. Like so, and they clip in. Works really nicely. And there is a chest strap. And then simulating takeoff. Trying to bobble around. You can see, like with this split leg and the way this is designed, it really scoops up, so it really makes it easy to get back into the harness. But in case your passenger is, you've got a big passenger and they're blocking you, that's where you've got these grab handles to grab there to push yourself back in the seat if you need to. Comfort is, well, really that is exceptional. The comfort under my back, well, it feels very similar to the Arrow, and the comfort is really, really high, really supportive. I haven't got lumps and bumps and ridges and pressure points. It's just a continuous back surface, really nice. And the legs, well, oh, yeah, if I just completely go floppy, then yeah, super supportive and comfortable. It's got to be one of the most comfortable tandem harnesses I've ever sat in. What else? So yeah, the thigh supports are really good, really nice and long and padded. So they're giving me really good top support under the legs. One of the best feelings I've had of any split leg harness. There's the protector, and I put the foam protectors in, and so that's fit. You can just imagine how the passenger harness is just going to fit in there absolutely perfectly. Really nice. Other points, if you look at the reserve handle, that's in a good position there for me to easily follow down and grab it and push out. And you saw earlier how I'm not going to deploy the reserve again here now, but it's really easy to pull out, and the reserve comes out nice and easy. You can simulate to a degree weight shift this harness hanging system, but again, with the waist strap there, you have got some adjustment on that, and you can really open that out very wide if you want, if you're bigger, or if you just got a very big passenger, or you just want the strap out wider, and that's going to give you, there's a lot of adjustment there, that's pretty wide if you want it. And I've got more weight shift, or you can tighten it back up a bit if you want. Nice reminder on there, so you're not distracted by your passenger. Clip in before flight. It's the kind of details that you want with a tandem setup, is because you've got a lot to think about. You want everything nice and easy, and lots of nice useful reminders for you. Really nice big buckety pockets to chuck your selfie stick in. You can even have 2 selfie sticks on this if you want. And then here, there's your side pocket, zips up pockets, which you can put in there your bits and things. You might, well, because of the camera, you might have batteries and other stuff like that, memory cards and whatever. All the adjustments and things are covered really very, very well in Niviuk's manual, so you can have a look at that. They're very easy to adjust, and you could certainly adjust these in flight. And you've got a seat depth adjustment shown on the other side, since your camera's there. You've got a seat adjustment, so you can, under your bum, lift it up so you get just the right level of support on your lower back and under your bottom, depending on your shape and size. But I mean, really, the comfort in this is superb. It's absolutely fantastic. Right, so now we're going to look at the Watson, Sherlock's partner. Watson 2. So shoulder strap on. So this, to make it simpler, this has got the more classic type of buckles there, which are the Cobra buckles. They're again another get-up type style system. And then shoulder straps. So what you want with a passenger harness is it to be really nice and simple and easy to clip in and all clear. Okay, and you've got a chest strap as well, that just keeps your shoulder straps. And you do, of course, need a very large amount of adjustment. My height, to give you an idea, is about 181 centimeters. And so if I lift these straps right up, you can see you've got roughly that much more height in the shoulder straps for somebody taller. And if we tighten them all the way back down, there's more adjustment than that. Then we can make it a lot smaller too. Just to see as well, one of the things you can see a bit, we'll do it again in the hanging system, is just, if I go from an upright position, you see how the harness goes flat on my back. Something we noticed with the Niviuk Macan is just amazingly good for getting back into the harness. It's probably one of the best harnesses we've ever done for that. Okay, so let's just do a test. I had the ground in the way with my hanging system, but let's go for launch, lift up, and even with not an optimum leaning forward kind of position, I could get back into the harness really, really easily. Now with a harness, with a passenger harness, because it needs to cater for a very wide range of different heights and sizes of people, you actually don't want the seat base too deep, because then it will dig in the back of the legs of people with short legs. Does mean that people are big will have their legs sticking out, but you want a nice comfortable seat and a very supportive back. That's some of the key things. Well, certainly very comfortable. Yeah, very nice. Really nice support on the back. Certainly feels very good. But really impressive is the bit of getting back into the harness. That was very, very good. And you can see as well here, trying to get upright and out of the harness is very easy and very effective. They've got handles on the side here as well, so if the passenger was struggling to get back in the seat, they could pull themselves back. If you look at it from the back, just from the pilot's point of view, so that patch there is for the pilot to put their Vario. I recommend one of the small SARide instruments. They're fantastic. So the SARide Sys GPS or Sys XL. There's a pocket down, so when the passengers, the pilots, or when you're flying, the pilot can access that pocket. And it's cleverly designed, as we saw, because this is actually reversible. And when it's in backpack mode, you can access the same pocket. So coming into land, all the passenger needs to do, they'll be told to do, is to stick their legs out and then rotate their body forwards, like so. It wouldn't sit there long. I'm just having to do that because of the ground there. And then as they come into land, depending on how you prefer your passengers to land, they'll be able to very easily get upright if you want them to. And there we go. Very final thing I'm going to show you is just, as I said, what a fantastic design the Watson 2 and Niviuk have had the brilliant idea of making it the first reversible passenger harness. So it reverses like so, and as with usual with reversible harnesses, like so. You can pull your strap, going around. There you go. Goes into a nice little, really nice backpack with a brilliant idea. Yeah, nice. Fantastic setup, both the Sherlock and the Watson. Really, really nice, fantastic details. I would be very, very happy to fly with this as my tandem gear. It's going to be really great for professionals, both for professional tandem pilots are going to be, this would be a great setup for them, I'm sure. If you're a commercial tandem pilot, let us know what you think. I know you'll be very fussy, so let us know your thoughts. And I also think this is going to be a fantastic setup for recreational pilots and passengers, say couples or friends who want to go just tandem flying together, or XC flying for big XC flights, because the comfort is so high, you're going to be able to fly in this kit for hours and hours very comfortably.